Hello and welcome to Chapter 2, Activating an Entrepreneurial Mindset from the Entrepreneurship 3rd edition textbook. In this chapter, we're going to talk about activating the entrepreneurial mindset from the perspective of starting a business. Now, you can have an entrepreneurial mindset even if you don't, if you're not launching a company, you can still activate that. But in this sense, we're talking about when you are starting a company and how you can practice that. What is a mindset? We talk about a mindset. Everybody has a mindset, right? You can have a fixed mindset, which is meaning, you're stuck in your ways. This is what it is, and there's no really ways of changing it. Brains and talent is just not enough. There's a really large number of people who are smart and very talented, but if they don't have the tenacity and not willing to take risks, if they're not willing to push themselves, it makes it more difficult for them to be successful. And of course, taking constructive criticism personally, if you take constructive criticism personally, it can hinder you. Now, there's a difference between being just absolutely rude and not giving good criticism, which is like, if someone says something rude to you in a very derogatory way of criticizing you, buzz them off. But if someone provides you really great constructive criticism, don't take that personally, right? If, for example, if you're doing a public presentation and you keep saying every other word, or you keep fidgeting, you keep moving around, you really have no cohesive construction in your delivery, that's really constructive criticism that you can take, that you can work on. Instead of saying, man, you just absolutely suck, man, you smell, then yeah, of course, like, why are you going to say that? That's a personal attack. That's different. And of course, attribute others' success to luck, right? I mean, luck, there's always that luck plays a role, but you can't always say, oh, that person got lucky. No, that person probably worked hard for that, and they caught a lucky break. What is a mindset? And we talked about that. And of course, lifelong learning, training, and practice. Failure is an opportunity to improve, right? People are scared of failure. There are a lot of people who just cannot fail. I mean, failure is probably one of the best lessons you can learn. And learning from others' mistakes, too, can also help you improve. You can learn a growth mindset. You become aware, you take action, and of course, you evolve. As you continue to evolve, you continue to see yourself grow. The entrepreneurial mindset enables one to act on opportunities. People have this intained mindset where they see an opportunity and they take it and they go with it and they grow. And they are resilient under uncertain conditions. Part of the entrepreneurial mindset is having that resiliency that there may be, in entrepreneurship, there's going to be uncertain conditions. You go back to when it was coronavirus, the COVID times, those were uncertain conditions that a lot of entrepreneurs faced. Some of them made it out, some of them didn't. And how can you be resilient during those conditions? Have a mental process, understanding, self-efficacy, your persistence, your perseverance, how you think, how you see things, how you learn things, and how you intake that information and apply that. Creating value, right? When you see something, see an opportunity, you create value. It of course, creating something new that out of something. And of course, value is felt on societal level. You see that value, that there was an opportunity there. Recognizing and acting on opportunities. It's one thing to see it. It's another thing to act on it. And that is the most important part. You actually act on that and you recognize that opportunity to act on that thing. And of course, you become adaptable and resilient. Adaptability is one of the most important aspects of the entrepreneurial mindset. You have to be adaptable. There are going to be setbacks, there are going to be failures, and there are going to be unexpected challenges. But how do you become resilient to that and adapt to it? Going back to the times of COVID, entrepreneurs who were successful learned that, it was an unexpected challenge, but they were being resilient and being adaptable to those challenging times. Others could not see that and they failed. So, and how do you move forward? Of course, decision making with limited information. There are times where you're just not going to have all the information. You can grab as much information you want, but there's not going to be, you're not going to have unlimited amount of information. You're going to have to act on that. Believe in what you are doing. And of course, you may take a loss, but of course, taking small, quick actions is really going to be helpful. How your why statement connects to your entrepreneurial mindset, right? What is your North Star, right? Why are you doing this? Why did you start this company? Why did you launch it? And of course, remember that North Star as to why you started. The role of passion, having passion really does help you build through growth. Your why statement, again, how leaders inspire action, have the simple and clear and focused mindset of here is my why statement. And of course, have habit loops, right? I mean, we are built on habits. We really are. What we do every single day is built on our habits. Some of us have really great habits, some of us have bad habits. You can break a habit, it takes time, or you can create a new habit that's positive. It does take time, but how you do things, is really going to determine whether or not, how successful can you be. And of course, having a creative habit, just building those muscles to have that creativity. Again, creating something without preparation, and may have that opportunity. Business courses on improvisation, you may have to learn things on the fly or learn things quickly. Again, relevant when uncertainty is high can help manage fear, and the yes and principle, right? Yes, I can do that. And self-doubt, barrier to improvisation, right? Don't doubt yourself. Again, let your brain grow. And of course, fear causes self-doubt and insecurity. There's a difference between danger and fear, right? Danger is having the clear presence known that, hey, there is a group of individuals down the block from me with weapons that look like weapons. That is danger. That is recognizing danger. Like, you know what? Maybe I should not go down that block because I see a group of individuals with what looks to be weapons and something bad may happen, and I recognize that danger. Fear, on the other hand, is like, man, I'm scared because what are people going to say to me? What if I launch this and nothing happens or people don't buy it? That's fear, which causes doubt and insecurity. You cannot have fear when you are in business. Like, you have to go out and do the things. You have to have security. You cannot have self-doubt. Because if you have self-doubt, if you have insecurity, and you release that towards the people that are working with you, they're going to recognize that and they're not going to believe in you. If you want, one of the best things to cause and go over those fears is write them down. What is it that you fear about entrepreneurship? What is it that you fear about launching a company? Sometimes it's just due to lack of information. So again, learn and be, get rid of that fear. Having a self-leadership habit, right? Influence and control your behavior. One of the behaviors that a lot of times entrepreneurs have is that they want to control everything. Control issues is a really bad habit of entrepreneurs. They want to control everything. And eventually you're going to have to learn, if you want to grow your company, like, you can't control everything. You're going to have to take a pause, and you're going to have to, like, really push yourself forward to not do that, right? Behavior-focused strategies, right? Self-goal and self-reward yourself. Always set goals. Self-punishment, hey, correct yourself, get that feedback. Natural reward strategies, and a constructive through patterns. Review and evaluate experiences. I think reflection is a very important part to see how you're growing. One of the best ways is to reflect is have a journal, right? Have a daily journal and write about your day or write about things you did, and so you can reflect on, hey, I did this, I did that. That is really going to be a benefit for you. And that is it for Chapter 2 on the Entrepreneurial Mindset from the Entrepreneurship 3rd Edition textbook. Thank you.